Hi everyone, and welcome to Morton's, the experts when it comes to steaks. And we're in for a real treat today because the expert here at Morton's, Don Thompson, the general manager, is going to give us a lesson in how to select the best cuts of beef when we go to the grocery store, right?
Correct. And it all starts off with don't buy anything that's already in a package.
Really?
Yes, that's usually the things that have been sitting on display a little bit longer. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're going to be a little older, and you would definitely have to cook them a lot faster than what you're going to be cooking.
So get what's behind the counter.
Behind the counter, it's always, usually behind the counter's got a better product and a little higher grade as well.
And you can have them trim it or do whatever you like to make it the way you like it. Okay.
You can.
So selecting different cuts, and these are, I guess, a variety like you have here at Morton's, a T-bone, a ribeye, the filet.
Correct. And a New York strip. I mean, one New York and one ribeye is what we would consider the perfect steak, and the other two are the ones that we would consider a lower quality, very, very low in price, not very good on the grill.
Okay, let's start with
cook well done.
something you don't want to buy. I'm not sure looking at these, I would guess maybe not that one.
Correct. This is the New York strip that you really don't want to purchase if you're looking for higher quality. You can see compared to the one next to it, there's no marbling whatsoever throughout the center of the steak, and that's what gives the New York strip its flavor, those tiny little white specks.
Right.
It's fat, but we call it marbling, and that's what adds all the flavor. You can see that the color is kind of dull. It doesn't point out at you, whereas this one kind of shines and goes, okay, boom, I'm ready, I'm fresh. You can also tell if you were to press down on them that this would be a nice firm flesh.
Okay.
Where this one's going to be kind of squishy, almost like a wet sponge.
Okay, so on New York strip, you want to see some marbling and you want a good rich color to it.
Good, rich, fine red color to it.
Moving on from the New York strip, the good and the not so good ribeye.
Well, which one do you think is the good one, and which one's the
Well, I'm gonna stick with what you said about the marbling, and my guess would be that ribeye is probably not got as much flavor as the one with the marbling.
Correct. Correct. You can see the color as well. It's a brighter, more intense color over here on the larger ribeye. It's still a little dull over here. You've got the marbling going all the way throughout. Anybody that wants to eat a ribeye wants something that's just full of flavor and just so much marbling. And it's got the little cap outside, where it's got the nice little cap of fat going right through the end, so you get that this is probably the most flavorful portion of the ribeye right there.
I love that little outside edge.
That's my favorite, and I have a friend of mine that orders those and just cuts that off and eats it and gives the other stuff away.
Oh,
so.
lucky you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we know how to choose the strip and the ribeye. The filet.
The filet, it's anybody that wants to order a filet, that's where you can be a little more lenient in your quality of beef. The filet is known for being tender and not having quite as much marbling, so there's less flavor, which is generally why it's served with a sauce. And so as you can see the filet, there's just a little bit of marbling right here where the bone was cut off.
Right.
And so you get a little bit of that marrow, maybe a bone-in filet would taste great, which we have here as well. And then it's just got a little bit of silver skin on the outside just to give it a little flavor. But this is a perfect filet. It's going to be nice and lean. You can really get away with a choice filet, a select filet at home, and save yourself money when going with
Okay,
filet.
well let me ask you, in the butcher they'll have like Chateaubriand at one price and then maybe the filet at another price. I've seen that vary $4 or $5 a pound. If you buy the cheaper cut, it's still going to be a great steak?
On the filet, you can get away with buying
Okay.
a less expensive cut. It's not going to take away that much flavor because the filet itself doesn't have a lot of flavor to begin with.
Okay.
And most people cook it with a sauce or slice it and serve it that way.
The Porterhouse,
Is the best of both worlds. It's for somebody that wants a tender cut on one
Right.
side and then a nice flavorful on the other. It's the New York strip on one side. It's a filet on the other side. It's got a bone right in the center, so when you cook it, that marrow cooks out, gives it that nice flavor. And it's a beautiful steak, especially if you're sharing a steak.
yes. And reds you like with steak? I know certain reds go a little better maybe with certain steaks when you start getting...
Well, I personally am a big American red fan.
Yeah.
A Pinot, I think, would go great with the filet because it doesn't have quite as much intense flavor. And you can pair it really well with some different sauces. Maybe you can use a port to make a port reduction sauce, or even the Pinot to make a reduction sauce, and it'll go very well with that.
Before we run out of time, I want to let everyone know the best deal in town, seriously, from 5 to 7 at Morton's. When you come here, sit in the bar, free filet mignon sandwiches. So what a deal. These aren't sliders, these are filet mignon sandwiches. So I wanted to be sure and mention that again. 5 to 7 Monday through Friday, right here at Morton's. Don, thank you.
Thank you very much.